faith we have come up, pardon the pun, in good faith, Islam. Firstly, any conversation which is about and grounded in social justice needs to recognise the historical context for where the conversation's being had. And for me, it is not about Indigenous people needing us to defend them. It is simply about us taking some responsibility for recognising that even these conversations are had on the back of the continued dispossession of Indigenous people, in the hope that maybe one day we can begin changing our behaviour and turning around the circumstances of those people. It is our responsibility, and when we talk about justice, we cannot talk about a little bit of justice. Justice is for everybody, and when the most vulnerable and marginalised groups are lifted, then the entire society is lifted. Now that said, welcome and thank you for inviting us to Shepparton. The only reason we came up was Batul. I don't know how many of you know Batul. Okay, Batul, we've been hosting these events in Melbourne for over a year, and they've become quite popular. They are events which simply seek to take us all on a journey beyond the political correctness and certainly beyond the hysteria that seems to be on offer as a narrative in the media about Islam and in particular about women. So this event and this platform, I'm just going to clarify its underpinning principle. We do not start from a premise that anything in Islam subjugates or violates women. If anybody believes that, this is not your platform. Please leave. Muslim and the second thing is we do recognise that all societies, no matter Muslim, Christian, Jewish, atheist, Buddhist, all societies pagan, are underscored by the subjugation of women. This is not a competition about who is better or who is worse. Islam, equally in its cultural manifestation, is also a reflection of all those institutions which subjugate women, and our quest is to interrogate them as much as it is to interrogate and push back the hostility that is levelled at Muslims at the moment. So Muslim women find ourselves in this very unique kind of straddling a very tricky platform where on the one hand we're trying to reclaim a sense of dignity and identity in a discourse that we're either perceived to be needing to be rescued from because the world wants to look after us and make us non-Muslim, and or subjugated by because the world perceives this is how Islam understands the status of women. Now I'm not going to waffle on too much longer, but for today, and I think it's important that this occasion is 1 hour or one and a bit, that we can contain the conversation somewhat, although it is not about political correctness. I think everybody, no matter what they think and feel about the notion of Islam, needs to be able to say it respectfully. What I do require, though, is that it's not accusatory, that it's with a sentiment of inquiry. Why is it that you think? Not you're ISIS and you're like that kind of accusation is futile, and there's no point having it because it doesn't make for interaction and dialogue. And lastly, if there's any question, this is not a scholarly platform and it's not here to respond to people's Islamophobia, but it is here that we all go on a journey. But if there are questions that people cannot answer and or respond to, let's kind of try and get them together and work with them